Welcome along then to the northeast of Italy and welcome along to Monza, where they've been racing here since 1922 and they've been racing in the Formula One World Championship since 1950. It's the 70th Italian World Championship Grand Prix to take place in the Royal Park at Monza. 20 cars, temple of speed, stand by for action. It's lights out and away we go, and Hamilton I think gets the better start ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas. Carlos Sainz, great reaction from him, he's up in a second place, Bottas in third, Perez on the inside, Lando Norris now gets ahead of Sergio Perez. It is Hamilton that leads them into the first chicane, and he could come out of that first chicane, well it does, with a McLaren behind, and that is Alex Albon getting it all wrong at that first chicane and losing places as a result. Charles Leclerc on the inside of Kimi Raikkonen looking for a gap that soon disappears.
So Max Verstappen having a poor start, brilliant from both of the Mercedes. They're fighting over, and look at that, Mr. McLaren then second and third now.
It is, Lando Norris squeezes past Valtteri Bottas, who might yet lose out to Sergio Perez on the inside as through the Lesmos we go. Hamilton from Sainz, from Norris, from Bottas, who maintains that fourth position. After that comes Perez and Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen and Stroll.
Bottas wide in the second Lesmo, what a dismal first lap he's having.
And the pressure might have just taken its toll on Valtteri Bottas. He is dropping down the field and Daniel Ricciardo is now attacking him, going into the Ascari chicane, and Valtteri Bottas is down to sixth.
Poor reaction time it looked like from Bottas there on the front row of the grid, and both McLarens getting away well. Sainz already up into second place, and Lando Norris steaming right down the outside of both Perez, and then the Mercedes and McLaren touch there, and they will touch again at the second chicane. Behind them, Albon and Gasly are under investigation.
Valtteri Bottas reporting understeer in the right-hand corners at the moment, and that is the incident between Gasly and Alex Albon.
Just a typical start.
Verstappen in eighth, and we're on board with Verstappen at the moment, and he's got that racing point in his sights. This is going to be a late braking exercise. Who dares to blink first? Verstappen trying to squeeze Lance Stroll out of the way and manages to slip that Red Bull on the inside of the racing point and up into seventh. And that is why Alex Albon got a 5-second penalty and a bit of damage to Romain Grosjean's front wing by the looks of it there. He just moved across in the braking zone. Oh, there was a bit of contact. What came off the Red Bull then hit the Haas.
Fair cop there.
Sebastian Vettel under pressure.
To take more action, we have an issue on the left-hand side, rear left.
And Sebastian Vettel under pressure from George Russell, who wanted to get racy with the Ferraris. Oh, and Sebastian Vettel locks up, goes straight through the polystyrene blocks. And one would imagine that issue is contributing to the way that he couldn't treat those blocks as a chicane.
Brakes failed. The brakes failed. Brakes failed.
Oh dear, oh dear.
You can see the left rear smoking.
Kevin Magnussen going very slowly indeed and pulling over to the side of the track.
Oh, something broke.
So will this be a virtual safety car to help the marshals push that Haas back through the gap and get it off the track? Gasly comes into the pits, and what a shame Kevin Magnussen didn't have enough forward momentum to get his car into the pit lane and to pull over to make it a little bit easier, but that's where it is stuck at the moment. The safety car itself is being deployed, so not just a virtual safety car, but the safety car itself.
But it closes the pack up nicely.
Yes.
I so much prefer a proper safety car.
Oh, staying out, Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz staying out.
And
interesting.
Is Lando
and
Norris
Lando
staying
Norris
out?
staying
Yes.
out. And Sergio Perez.
Then that means you've got a very
I
slow
tell you why,
lap.
the pit lane entry is now closed. So I wonder if Lewis Hamilton was able to pit because he was that much further ahead.
Pit lane entry was closed at 15:41, the same time as the safety car was deployed.
Is Lewis Hamilton in a bit of trouble? The race leader here. So the pit lane entry is now clear, and that means that we can get the pit stops done. And the double stacking at McLaren, you can see Lando Norris locking up there as he comes into the pit lane, and this is a test for the McLaren pit crew. Out goes Carlos Sainz, very nice indeed, but the job's not done yet because here comes Lando Norris as well, and I would imagine they're all going to come into the pits, and out goes Lando Norris ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. We're racing again, and it is lap 24 of this Italian Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc is putting Kimi Raikkonen under pressure behind Antonio Giovinazzi. He's got past Raikkonen. He might clear 2 Alphas in about 300 metres here, and he does. Charles Leclerc, he picks off Raikkonen and picks off Giovinazzi as well.
Leclerc might have lost some speed in his car. He hasn't lost any bravery and commitment, has he?
And there goes Kimi Raikkonen on the inside of the Curva Grande, past his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, as he decides he's not going to wait around either. Hamilton leads from Stroll, who hasn't pitted, Pierre Gasly, who missed out and lost out a bit behind the safety car last week in Spa, but has certainly made places this week here in Monza. He's running in third. We look back now to the Renault of Esteban Ocon, who's got Danny Kvyat all over him. Kvyat's changed onto the medium tyre as well. He was hoping to go a lot longer in his first stint. That hasn't worked out for him, and you can see Norris and Sainz at the moment in 8th and 7th. McLaren really losing out in that safety car period.
Stroll's the outlier in the pink racing point. He hasn't pitted. He is running in second place. Gasly sitting very nicely there on a brand new set of hard compound tyres in third place.
If you're Pierre Gasly, you're thinking, right, I lost out last week, I'm making up for that this week, and this is now going very much according to plan for the AlphaTauri team, as Nicholas Latifi just holding up Daniel Ricciardo, and that's Charles Leclerc. And that is a very big accident, and we've seen a brake failure from his teammate Sebastian Vettel, and we have just seen a huge accident at the Parabolica involving Charles Leclerc as well, who is moving inside the car.
Are you okay?
Yeah, was a big crash.
How brilliant to see Charles Leclerc climbing out of the cockpit.
There wasn't brake failure. Okay, he's lost the back end of the car under acceleration. The back end got away from him, and he counter-steered into the slide. This is not brake related.
We're red flagging the race. The race is going to be red flagged here, and I assume because the impact of that Ferrari into the tyre barrier at Parabolica has meant that those tyre barriers now need to be repaired. Lewis Hamilton has a 10-second stop-go penalty. Lewis Hamilton is now going to have to come into the pits, stop for 10 seconds, and then go back out again. As it's 5 lights ahead of the drivers. Lights out and away we go again here at Monza. Lewis Hamilton gets a very good start then. Already Giovinazzi's looking to get past Pierre Gasly. There's Kimi Raikkonen on the inside. Lance Stroll has dropped back a couple of places. Carlos Sainz is looking to make up a place around the outside. Lando Norris is being pushed almost by Valtteri Bottas and by Daniel Ricciardo, but Hamilton through the Curva Grande, away he goes from Gasly and Raikkonen. Giovinazzi with Stroll on the inside trying to get that place back. Then comes Sainz and then comes Norris, and pulling over to the outside there goes the Alfa Romeo, but Gasly just stays where he needs to be, and that looks like Lance Stroll could have had a brake problem. Those brakes were smoking on the grid, but he went straight onto the chicane there. Very lucky not to collect the car in front.
Just got too deep on the brakes. The brake problem, well, the front wheels were locked up, so Lance Stroll, did he make a place up there? He certainly lost one quickly anyway, but Raikkonen looking incredibly racy, isn't he? The old man of the grid really going for it.
He's come alive as Kimi Raikkonen on those soft compound tyres now. Carlos Sainz pulls over to the left-hand side, and Lance Stroll around the outside of the Ascari chicane is ahead of Carlos Sainz. Stroll is 5th, Sainz is 6th.
So Hamilton a bit out front. There he goes. He's got a couple of laps to double that gap. He said he could make 5 seconds. Felt about right to me. And these key overtakes going on, like, for example, Stroll and Sainz, could be critical for the podium or even the win.
Hamilton then comes into the pits. Pierre Gasly for AlphaTauri in their home race leads the Italian Grand Prix from the Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen in what should be their home race, but they're based in Switzerland. In second, Giovinazzi has got to serve his penalty, running in third at the moment, ahead of Sainz and Stroll and Norris, Bottas, Ricciardo, Ocon and Kvyat in 10th.
They're retiring the car, Crofty.
I think they are. After 6 consecutive podiums, Max Verstappen is out of this race and out of the car as well, and looks pretty furious as he gets out of that car. We're on board now with George Russell. Oh, on the first chicane, he's going to run out of track and has to go over the sleeping policeman, and that will allow Romain Grosjean to stay ahead of the Williams, but the Williams has come back onto the track and is picking up a lovely slipstream now through the Curva Grande, and this is George Russell, currently in 13th place. Can he go late on the brakes? No, not late enough against Romain Grosjean to try and squeeze past on this particular occasion.
Carlos, you can be patient with Raikkonen, you can be patient.
More worried about Gasly.
One at a time, Carlos, one at a time.
Well, here comes the first one. Carlos Sainz is going for it with Kimi Raikkonen, who gives him enough space, and just enough space, and Sainz moves up into second place. Raikkonen fought that very hard indeed, but left just enough for Carlos Sainz to move past.
Yeah, Carlos is, you're kidding me. I've got a chance to win a Grand Prix here. I want after Gasly. And you can make a move like that on Kimi Raikkonen. He's a fair driver.
Yeah.
Chance of their lives for Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz. And it looks like a duel at the moment. Gasly the quicker on that lap, but of course Sainz had to overtake Raikkonen. So when we see Sainz in clear air, we'll get a feel for how that lead battle might pay out, and Hamilton then is still nowhere near the back of the pack.
Here comes Lance Stroll on Kimi Raikkonen. Lance Stroll is going to have to go the long way round at the second chicane. Kimi Raikkonen jams on the brakes. They get within millimetres of touching, and Lance Stroll at the second chicane passes Kimi Raikkonen. The Racing Point is back up into the podium places. It's Gasly, Sainz and Stroll, the 1-2-3 in this dramatic Italian Grand Prix.
How'd you like this one? Mercedes reckon Lewis can finish P6 in this race.
Wow, that'd be good. Lando Norris has just passed Kimi Raikkonen.
Well, it'll be good for Lewis, but strangely, why is Bottas not be able to close on the cars in front of him?
Sainz 6/10 quicker than Gasly, and Stroll not much less than that either.
And there goes Valtteri Bottas on his fellow Finn. Kimi Raikkonen slams his car down the inside past the Alfa Romeo, and Bottas is now up into 5th place. 8 laps. The computer reckons that Carlos Sainz could get Pierre Gasly or be within striking distance. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo on Kimi Raikkonen, who's just going backwards a bit through the field and locks up for his troubles as well, as Raikkonen is now usurped in 6th place by Daniel Ricciardo, and a bit further back Lewis Hamilton is a bit too far back to get past Alex Albon. He's been setting these fast laps. Now, of course, he's got to try and pull off some overtakes to get himself into the points. Lewis Hamilton is getting about 5 kilometres an hour extra speed because of the DRS down towards the braking zone, pulls out to the left-hand side of the track. He's not going to get past, but Albon then locks up. The scrap between Russell and Grosjean continues on. Alex Albon goes over the speed bumps, and now with a slower exit out of that first chicane, can Lewis Hamilton get Alex Albon through the Curva Grande in front of them? Look at that, wheel-to-wheel Romain Grosjean and George Russell. Grosjean just stays ahead there, and then we look back to see that Lewis Hamilton has got past the Red Bull.
Yeah, Albon had to yield the place anyway.
While all this is happening, Carlos Sainz is now within 3 seconds of Pierre Gasly at the top.
Yeah, it hurt Sainz having to spend so long, didn't it, at the beginning of the Grand Prix.
The Williams is quite a draggy car, and I think we're seeing evidence of that as Lewis Hamilton gets past George Russell, and that's now up into 13th. Romain Grosjean is next. You get the feeling that this will be an easy overtake for Lewis Hamilton coming up next. In fact, Alex Albon was a bit of a struggle. Russell and now Grosjean have been passed fairly swiftly by the Mercedes, who's got a bit of DRS to help him as well, and he's up into 12th place. By the time, Grosjean fights back through that chicane, but can't quite get alongside.
A little bit of clear air for Lewis now.
Here goes Esteban Ocon slamming on the brakes into the second chicane and ahead now of Kimi Raikkonen, but he might have lost a bit of his front wing, tangling with Raikkonen a bit earlier because we saw the yellow piece of wing fly off into the air. Either way, Ocon for the time being is up into 7th place.
So Gasly and Sainz are pretty much blow for blow, punching out front though Gasly with a 2.6 second lead. Stroll is gently catching the pair of them.
Here goes Kvyat on Kimi Raikkonen side by side, and then ahead for the AlphaTauri. What a day this is turning into for AlphaTauri. They give Kvyat a round of applause. They are going to be jumping for joy in 10 laps time if Pierre Gasly can keep the lead and give that team, based here in Italy, their second win in an Italian Grand Prix. Once as Toro Rosso, today as AlphaTauri. Gasly's doing a a brilliant job. Sainz doing a super job to try and chase him as well.
Hamilton then past the Williams of Latifi.
Perez has just passed Kimi Raikkonen, goes up into 9th. That means that Lewis Hamilton, to get into the points now, needs to get past. Oh, Raikkonen's just switched back again. Raikkonen in 9th, Perez in 10th. He hasn't completely given up that particular battle. Now Perez gets it back again into 9th while we watch the McLaren and the Mercedes. This is on board with Lewis Hamilton. You can see Perez in the pink car. You can see the red on the rear wing of Kimi Raikkonen's Alfa Romeo. Hamilton just had to back out there, going through the first of the two Lesmos.
So remember, Lewis was 30 seconds off the lead when he came out of the pits. He's now 22 seconds off the lead. And of course, a lot of that 8 seconds he found was in clear air. Now he's got to pass the cars.
He's going to try and do this one into the Ascari chicane. Gets it done before the Ascari chicane. Hamilton from last is now up into the points once again.
DRS, Mercedes power against Mercedes power, but job done. An important overtake then, but Hamilton still remains 23 seconds off the lead.
This time last year, Pierre Gasly would have come to Monza a little bit down in the dumps after being...
Don't mind, sir, you got a sake. Copy. 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go, Carlos. Maximum focus now, no mistakes.
After being replaced in his Red Bull seat by Alex Albon, he started 17th here, he finished 11th. He could go and win this yet today as his teammate Danny Kvyat is under pressure with Lewis Hamilton, and Hamilton is ahead now and up into 8th place, ahead of the other AlphaTauri. Hamilton's gone from the back since this resumption up into 8th place.
Carlos, you're second. No mistakes. Just keep it really clinical. I want this win, Tom.
He would love this win as he departs the McLaren team this year to go and join Ferrari. How he would love to go to the Scuderia as a race winner in Formula One. It is last lap shenanigans here at Monza, and whilst the engine mode regulations mean that things have to stay the same between qualifying and the race, when it comes to the last lap, you can dump as much electrical energy as you want to give you more pace.
And good power then, good traction now there for Gasly, but we've got DRS on board the McLaren as we are at the moment. It'll be very close, but I doubt close enough. So it's going to be a slipstream then down to Parabolica and off the last corner, but the AlphaTauri's got great traction.
And whilst all that is happening, Lewis Hamilton has got past Esteban Ocon, and he's up now into 7th place through the first and then the second of the 2 Lesmo corners. And now there's another straight for Carlos Sainz to get a bit of a slipstream, and he's got DRS as well to try and get a bit closer to Pierre Gasly. It's going all the way down to the wire. We're going to get a first-time winner here in Formula One, whatever happens here now on the last quarter of the lap. And look at that, sliding through the Ascari chicane. It's like watching his father doing rallying, but we're watching Carlos Sainz in Formula One. He's given it absolutely everything, but up ahead, Pierre Gasly is in front for the AlphaTauri team that won here as Toro Rosso, and they are going to win in 2020 as AlphaTauri. Pierre Gasly wins the Italian Grand Prix. Oh my, is that just wonderful? Carlos Sainz comes home for 2nd place, and what a great fight he gave. Lance Stroll completes the podium places, but take a bow, Pierre Gasly. 12 months ago, he came here so downhearted after being released by Red Bull and sent back to his former team. He leaves Monza this year as a race winner in Formula One.
McLaren gutted up on the pit wall, 4/10 off an important victory, but Gasly had the head and the speed when it mattered.
Oh my God! What did you do?
What did you do?
You did it! You did it! Oh my God! Oh my God, guys, we did it again! Oh my God, yes!
P1, Pierre! P1!
Honestly, it's unbelievable. I'm not realizing what's happening right now, you know. It was such a crazy race, and then we capitalized on the red flag. The car was fast. We had a pretty fast car behind us, and I mean, as you said, I've been through so much in the space of 18 months. My first podium last year, I was already like, wow, with AlphaTauri, and now my first win in Formula One in Monza. I struggle to realize.
For Mercedes today, the race was just a bit ghastly. for the winner, it was just Pierre Gasly. Well done, Pierre. The Italian Grand Prix, it's a home win for AlphaTauri.